each user it will create one directory. Suppose one user I have created like Madhu. So for user Madhu, it will create one directory called Madhu in the slash home directory. So that is the Madhu user home directory. So under etc directory, all the configuration files like shadow, G shadow, groups, okay, pass WD, MOTD message of the day, and sudo s file, like that many configuration files will be there. And etc that OPT. So all the softwares I have installed in that OP directory and a temp directory. So its name itself temporary directory. If you want to share with any some files with other users, you don't have the access to. Suppose I want to share with Chiranjeevi user any file. I don't have the access to the Chiranjeevi user home directory /home /Chiranjeevi. So that time what I will do, I will copy one file into the temp directory. Okay, so that you can copy from there to your home directory. So like temp directory will use that one. And also bin directory, sbin, all the binary files will be in the bin directory. And sbin also it is all the binary files. But in the sbin means system binaries like reboot, shutdown. These are the binaries will be available in the sbin directory. Only the root user can able to access those binary files.
Okay. Okay. 1 second, Madhu. Give me 1 second. So like I'll take some notes. Give me a second.
Okay.
Madhu?
Yes?
Yeah. So in Linux, what is ACL?
Sorry?
What is ACL?
Access control list. ACL, right? Access control list.
Yes. Yes. Madhu, like, could you please explain about ACL?
So ACL in the Linux you are asking. So it is like access control list. The abbreviation for this one is the access control list. Mainly, if you want to organize that permission set of kind of thing, it is name itself is the access control list. So if you want to access manage that control list, we'll use this one. Suppose like create any one file. Okay. So if you want to give that permission list, so you can manage that get facts like, so automatically it will give what are the permissions for that one. It will give what is the group of that one, owner of that one. It will use that one, and what are the permissions they are having. It will give. Hello? Hello?
Madhu, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Now I can. Earlier, for last one, maybe some fraction of seconds, it is not.
Okay. Could you please explain like what are the files, what are the permissions you covered as a Linux file?
So Linux file permissions.
Yes.
So like each file or each directory it is having 3 sets of permissions like a user, group, others. So each user are having the read, write, execute. Means if that first set it will show read user, other one is third set is showing that second set is showing the group, third set is showing the other set. So if you want to, you can change that one, change the permissions using the chmod command. Chmod, what are the permissions you can give? 7 is the highest permission in that Linux, and give the file name. So or a directory name also you can give, so that it will change the default permissions to the whatever the permissions you want. And also, if you want, so this what is the this default permission will be based on the umask value.
Mhm. Okay. So how will you check the system performance?
So if you want to check the system performance, we'll use one command called as a top command. It will give how many users are logged in, how much of CPU utilization, okay, how many users and what they are doing. Okay, just you can use the W command. It will show what they are doing, means what they are executing. So how much of swap space, RAM space, everything it will give, and which process it is taking more CPU utilization and RAM, everything it will show.
Okay. So could you please explain? Sorry. Could you please explain about SSH?
SSH.
Yes.
So SSH is a secure shell. If you want to connect to any of the server, SSH username at the rate that server host name we can use. So automatically it will ask the password first. It will you can use the password. It will automatically connect to that particular server. If you want to passwordless communication, you can first generate the SSH keys using SSH-keygen. Then you can copy. Once if you execute that command, it will generate two keys. One is id underscore RSA, id underscore RSA dot pub. In that user home directory, it will create one folder called .ssh. There it will generate. So if you want to copy that one, ssh copy id command and give the username and at the rate host name. So that particular server, it will copy. First time it will ask the password. So next time onwards, just execute that SSH username at the rate that particular server IP address or host name. So automatically it will connect to that server.
Okay. What is LVM?
L?
What is LVM?
Logical volume. This one. So
Yes.
So you are asking about that explanation.
Yes.
So mainly it will be.
Yeah, go ahead.
Suppose if you want to create the partitions, okay, whatever in the that mount point, okay, or that partition, if you want to create that one, so we'll use this logical volumes, okay. So in that physical hard disk, suppose if you want to see the how many portions, first we'll use that f disk -l. It will displace all the partitions and all. So there you can create a number of partitions and you can mount that partitions to that particular this one.
Okay, what is UMask?
So UMask, the UMask based on the UMask only that okay, based on the UMask only, it will set the values of that one. Suppose UMask value, if you want to see the UMask value, just you can type that UMask. It will give that whatever the particular user UMask will give that value. So based on that UMask value only, it will set the default permissions for file or directory.
Okay, so can I turn Linux system into a proxy server?
Can you turn a Linux server as
Linux system into a proxy server?
Proxy server. Yes, you can turn as a Linux server as a proxy server.
Okay. So what is the difference between home directory and working directory?
So home directory is nothing but suppose one user is called as Madhu. For Madhu, home directory will be the /home/Madhu is the home directory. Working directory means where you are currently you have pointing to that directory. Suppose if you want to see that present working directory, just pwd you can type. It will give the print working directory.
Okay, got it. So like coming to Git.
Okay.
So could you please explain a branching strategy?
So I'm following like 4 branches. By default, once we'll create the repository, it will be a one branch called as master branch. Okay. After that, we are creating the development branch. For development branch, all the developers are connecting and they are writing the code. And once they will say it is working fine, from development branch only we are deploying into the dev environment. So once they will say okay, it is working fine, then working with the tech lead. Suppose while integrating, if you get any merge issues, merge conflicts, so I will work with the development lead because I am not the right person to check that whether it is the correct code in that local repository at the particular branch to this branch. If any merge conflict issues, I will work with the tech lead and I'm fixing that one. Then from master branch, we are moving the code to that staging environment. Okay, once that done, it is development. QA team will test that one. So from there, we are moving same to the production also. Suppose assume if you in the production you find any issue. So instead of working on the master branch, we'll create that development one branch called as bug fix and hyphen that bug name, defect name will create. And on top of that one, developer will work on and again will deploy into the dev. It will go to the and we are again matching with.
So like you have mentioned like you have one master branch and one development branch. Development team will push their changes to the development branch. Right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So
And
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and suppose if you want to develop any feature branch immediately, whether that is a high priority feature, you need to implement within these 2-3 days. Like so, that time we'll create that on top of master. We're creating one branch called as feature branch, and with that feature ID. So we are working on the developer is working on that one, and we'll test it in the dev environment, staging environment. Then we are once it is done, we are merging with the master, and we are deploying into that production environment.
Uh-huh. So like is that is the best practice? Like every developer has to push their changes directly to the development branch?
Yeah. So for some of the projects, like we were, they are following like. So what they are doing, they are not working directly on the development branch. What they are doing, they are forking that branch to the repository to their personal account, and they are working on that one. Then they are creating a one pull request from that repository to this repository and selecting the branch name and here the target branch name. So they will create the pull request and it is going to the tech lead. He will review that one, and once it is successful, they are merging with that main development branch. So like that also some of the projects they are following.
So you have mentioned like you will create one high priority branch when you have production plan,
Yes, yes.
production fix, right?
Yes.
So like after the deployment of that branch, so what you will do? That branch will like
yeah, we'll merge first. We'll merge with the master. So one commit. So that is small issue. So we'll commit commit into that particular commit, and we are merging that one into the master branch. So if you want to take only one that particular commit and you can you want to apply into that master branch, I have used the git cherry pick that commit ID. Okay, so for finding the commit ID, I used the git log. So it will display that commit ID. I will take that commit and I will switch to the master branch. Okay, for switching git checkout master branch, that then I'm executing the git cherry pick under this whatever commit ID. So in that bug fix branch, it will commit deploy put it into that master branch.
So like I'm asking like once the branch has been merged into master from the master you're going to deploy it, right?
Yes,
so,
yes.
Like I'm asking. So after that, like what about that branch? It will be like that only, or like
no. After that, we are deleting that branch. So git branch -d that branch name.
Okay. So like what is git stash?
So git stash. Suppose you are working on one branch and you want to but you are in between. After that, you mess up something. You don't want to work on that one. Later, maybe you will come and you can work on that particular branch. But but you don't want to commit that one. But without committing, and if you switch to the other branch, same changes it will come to this particular branch. So what I will do, just execute that git stash. So and save, give that comment. So automatically it will take that and it will put it into one temporary space. If you want to see that all that how many times you took the backup, execute git stash list. So it will list that all the how many times you took that one. So if you want again apply that one, you can use git stash apply and you can give that index. So 0, 1, 2, 3 stash flower bracket 0 stash flower bracket 1 I will source. So if you want to use apply that one, you can particular that stash also ID also you can use. So if you use stash apply, what it will do, it will apply and in the temporary space still it will be delete. It will be remain same. If you want to drop that one, delete that one from temporary space, git stash, okay, then drop, give that stash ID, it will delete. So instead of
What
this
is
one,
stash drop? What is
stash,
stash drop?
git stash drop, and give that stash ID. Okay, so that particular stash, whatever you executed, right, that particular ID, stash ID, it will delete from the temporary space. Instead of this one, you can go with git pop and whatever that stash ID, git stash pop ID. So what it will do, it will apply that one, whatever, and it will delete with a single command. That is the main difference. Git stash apply and git stash pop.
So what is the difference between git pull and git fetch?
Git full and git fetch both are used for getting the updates from the remote repository. Okay, so git fetch is like just it will take the update from the remote repository and it will put it into the local repository. But if you use git pull, so it will take the updates code from the remote repository and it will put in local repository. Then it will put it into the workspace also, working area. Sometimes you may override. Suppose same file you have executed, updated, and you have executed git full. Sometimes it may override. So better to use git fetch. Then it will come to the local repository. From there, if you want to get into your local workspace, so use the git merge. So automatically whatever it is there in that local repository, it will come to the working area.
Okay. So like so you have decided to reverse the commit which is already pushed to the public.
Yeah. See, suppose that time what you will do, only the latest one you can revert. Suppose I have badly committed unknowingly, but that is not working. So what you will do, just find that what is the commit ID which I have committed with badly. Git log, take that commit ID, git revert, give that commit ID so that it will delete from your local repository. But the same thing I need to update into the remote repository as well. As that time you can git push whatever that origin name, okay, then branch name -f. So what it will do, it will override whatever updates with your local local repository to the remote repository.
Okay. So what is git rebase?
So git rebase is one of the integration method. So it's like suppose if you want to merge two branches, okay, integrate two branches from one branch code to the other branch, we'll use the git rebase, that branch name. Okay, so here and suppose assume git master branch and bug fix branch. So in the bug fix branch 5 times we have committed, and that bug fix branch code I want to merge with the master. So what you will use git, first you have to connect to the master branch, pointing to the master branch. First that one git checkout master, then execute this git rebase whatever that bug fix branch. So what it will do, whatever it is there, 5 commits we have committed, everything it will come and it will put it into your master branch. So here clear picture is there in which commit ID what you have updated.
Okay. So coming to Jenkins.
Okay.
So what are the benefits of using Jenkins?
So it is like a continuous integration tool. If you use that Jenkins, so it will the integration step in the software development lifecycle. There is no integration step because when we are following, suppose assume waterfall model, here all the doing and here we need to integrate development with this one. Here, if you use the continuous integration tool, as soon as the developer commits the code into that version control system, Jenkins will take that updated code. Against that code, it will run the unit test cases. So those will be developed by the developer. It will run that unit test case. Suppose if it is a Java code, it is a JUnit test case, a Java unit test cases, and it will check that all the unit test cases. Once the unit test cases are passed, then it will do a build, okay, and it will create an artifact. So it will send a notification. So due to this one, immediately bug detection will be, we can find it.
So you're explaining about code Jenkins pipeline?
Not Jenkins pipeline. So just the benefits of continuous integration tool.
Okay. Could you please explain like Jenkins pipeline?
So Jenkins pipeline, suppose we have created a one file called a Jenkins file. So you can write that all the workflow there using the. So I have used actually we can write this Jenkins in two formats. One is like a scripted format and the declarative, but I followed that scripted format. I used that Groovy script. There I have written all the workflow. So like for stages, different stages. So first one is that like getting the updated code from that version control system, then running unit test cases, then it will be like creating that artifact, then Sonar Cube, then we are pushing that artifacts into the remote repository, then like deploying, so then it will send a notification. So all these steps we have written in the all the workflow in the Jenkins file. So that Jenkins file we are putting into the, along with that project source code in that root folder. So J capital letter Jenkins file, no extension it is. So while creating that CI/CD pipeline in the Jenkins, so we'll select that the project type will be the pipeline. Once we select that one, it will ask. So the source file script will be pipeline script will be from SCM, or we can write this, that workflow script in the pipeline Jenkins there itself.
So, Madhusudan, like how will you communicate like upstream jobs and downstream jobs? How will you arrange the communication between these two jobs?
So there I didn't work on because see, we are for each environment we are using one CI/CD pipeline. So like Jenkins, this dev environment, so and the staging environment.
No, like pipeline means like the step-by-step operations we're talking about, right?
Sorry.
So first, so pipeline in the sense like for every environment you create only one job, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So after that, you can mention that once this is done, so there you can see that one option. It is done successfully done. Then we can based on that result of first one, we can run on the second project with help of this upstream, downstream.
Okay. Got it. So coming to Jenkins, like how will you secure your Jenkins? Like what about securities you provide for your Jenkins job?
So we can achieve manage for this one manage Jenkins global configure secure say global secure configure secure. So there you will go. You can see that enable the secure. So here you can use LDAP or you can use your Jenkins own database. So if you use Jenkins own database, you have to create the users, and for that users by default it will like he will get that admin access. Instead of that one, you can select that project-based authorization secured matrix. So there, and you can select and you can give that what are the for which users, what is the access, whether only the in the jobs, only the read, okay, and create or discard and cancel, like that. Different options are there for that particular user. So mainly the developers will use only that. He can able to read that jobs, and sometimes we are giving that build option also, build trigger build now, that option is there, build option. So like that.
Okay, like how many ways we have scheduled a Jenkins job?
So you can schedule a job in two ways, like it's pool ACM. So another one is like hooks and services you can, or you can use that schedulers. So in that particular job, you can go and you can build schedule. So this particular time, each time whatever you have given that one, it will keep on running. So if you use this method, whether updated code is there or not, that particular time it will go on trigger and it will go to the version control system. It will take the updated code and it will, if it is updated there, it will take. Otherwise, even though it will take the code from the version control system, it will do a build and it will do all these steps. But if you use the pool ACM, whatever the time interval you have set in that Jenkins, that particular time interval, it will go to the version control system and it will check is there any updated code is there or not. So how it will identify that updated code is there or not? Based on the commit ID. So Jenkins having one commit ID, and even GitHub that version control system also maintain the version commit ID. If both are matches, it assumes there is no updated code. So that time it will the build will not trigger. Okay. So if both are not matched, it Jenkins assumes some updated code is in the GitHub. So it will go to that GitHub and it will take the updated code. Then it will do the build. So in the
Okay,
hooks,
you have a scenario like I want to migrate the Jenkins job from one server to another server.
okay.
So
So
how will you do that one?
so if you want to migrate that Jenkins server one server to, so first what you will do in Linux server, some Linux server B, suppose assume in Linux server old server is there. In Linux server B, new Jenkins server you have installed. So what you will do, first install in the Linux server B Jenkins, okay, and once successfully installed, stop that one and go to that home directory. It will you will see one folder called as .jenkins folder. Okay, so take that backup and come to the Jenkins server A. Take that backup of that home directory, Jenkins home directory. If you want all the configurations and all, take that one and you can copy into the server B. Just you can restart the Jenkins server in the B. So that automatically all the configurations, these things, it will come into the server B.
Okay, got it. So like which script you're comfortable?
Shell script I am comfortable, Chiranjeev.
Shell script you're comfortable, okay. So coming to Ansible.
Okay.
So how much rate yourself on Ansible out of 5?
Out of 5, I can give 3.5.
3.5.
Yes.
Okay. Good. So could you please explain about Ansible architecture?
Okay, sure. So Ansible, it will mainly will work on the push-based architecture. So it's like you don't want to install any agents in that host machines. So just it will mainly work on the SSH connection type. So suppose assume you have hundreds of host machines are there. So in that 100 machines you want to connect to this through Ansible and you have to execute one playbook. So first what you will do, you take that all the Ansible that in a host machines IP addresses are in host names and put it into the inventory file, host inventory file. Okay, so host inventory file. Just and before doing that one, first you have to generate the in Ansible server passwordless communication. So generate the SSH key and copy into that all that 100 servers. Okay, so what it will do, because it is using the SSH connection, right? So SSH and whatever that particular, so passwordless communication we have to generate the between the host servers and this particular IP Ansible server. Then all the IP addresses of host machines we can put it into the inventory file. So that is the host inventory file will add. So after successfully done all the environment, so now the next part is the playbook. That is another component in that Ansible. So the playbook is nothing but it is a one sample YML file. It is a one file. It will be written in the YAML format. So what it will do, just whatever needs to execute that, whatever the task we want to do in that all the 100 servers, that one we will write in that Ansible playbook. So it's like a one file, but the extension is .yml. It is a one YAML format. So all the things will, suppose in the while 100 servers, it will be like different types of will be there. Like suppose app servers will be, web servers, DB servers, web servers. Like different, we can make it the groups. Suppose if any DB related patches, if you want to apply, only just you can put that in the playbook host colon what that group name you can put. Okay, so that it will assume so this playbook has to run in this particular group of servers. After that, you can put that task colon, then hyphen name, whatever the task name you can give. And suppose if you want to install that HTTP server, okay, hyphen yum colon, okay, that name is equal to whatever. Suppose I want to install HTTP, and the state is equal to present, so that it will install that one. So there you can use mention become true. So what it will do?
Are you able to write in a playbook?
Yes, I can write that playbook.
Okay, like
So
you have a scenario like I will give you one scenario to write a playbook. Okay.
Okay.
So like you need to install like some X software and some node. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you have to request like install Jenkins and some X node.
Okay.
So could you please write a playbook for that one?
Yeah, sure, sure. I will write the playbook. So the playbook will be like sample install Jenkins.yml. Install Jenkins.yml. Okay, that is the playbook name I am writing. I am typing. So that is the playbook name. Then I will mention. So suppose in the CI servers. Okay, that is the group name. So hyphen host colon that CI servers, because I'm mentioning the group name as CI servers. Okay. Then hyphen tasks. Okay, colon. Then hyphen I will type name. Okay, name and done. So then YUM. So there YUM is a one module. So for installing that YUM colon name is equal to then Jenkins. Okay. Then present state is equal state colon state is equal to present. One second. It is my keyboard is just stuck. Okay. Done. Can you see? Can you see, Chiranjeev?
Yes, I'm able to see also.
Yeah, I typed.
Okay, okay. Got it. So like you have a requirement to install Ansible on CentOS.
Okay.
So what type of prerequisites you will check before the deployment, before the installation?
So you want to install that Ansible in that CentOS server.
Yes.
So first of all, Ansible, if you want to install Ansible, definitely Ansible is developed using the Python. First, we need to check whether Python is installed or not. So if the Python is installed, just directly go ahead and YUM, whatever that repository name you can give, then you can give the YUM install Ansible. So automatically it will install. If you want to check that after installation successfully whether it is installed or not, just type that Ansible hyphen version. It will display which version of Ansible you have installed.
Okay, okay. Got it. So could you please explain like Maven lifecycle?
Maven lifecycle, here three life cycles are there. One is a clean site, and another important one is the default lifecycle. So mainly we are using that clean and default lifecycle. In the clean, again, one important goal is called as clean gold. What it will do, it will delete the previous build file system like in the target folder. So MVN clean, if you execute, that is the goal name. Okay, so it will delete the previous build. Another important life cycle is default life cycle. There we have different goals are there: validate, compile, test, package, install, deploy. So suppose if you execute MVN package, so but before this one executing package, it will first execute the validate. It will validate all the resource files in the directory structure. Then it will compile the source code as well as that unit test cases, what are the JUnit test cases. Then it will run that against unit test case against the source code. Then it will create that artifact. So like it's a whatever you mentioned in that the pom.xml in the packaging tag, it will create that artifact like jar, var, or year based on that one. After then another one is install is there. MVN install if you use, what it will do, it will all these things it will execute that validate, compile, test, package. Then whatever that artifact it has generated, it will copy that artifact into our Maven local repository. Okay. So one more goal called as deploy goal. If you use MVN deploy, all these things it will happen and it will create the package. Then it will put that artifact into your remote repository based on whatever that you have configured that remote repository in your pom.xml, either Nexus or JFrog. For that one, we'll use first we'll create. Yes.
Okay, got it. So coming to web server.
Hmm.
Okay, so you're familiar with Apache, right?
Yes, correct.
So like on a single mission, can I maintain 2 web servers?
Single?
On a single mission, can I maintain 2 web servers?
No. So, because this web server will run in the port number 80. So, with the same port number, you are not able to run in the multiple instances of web server.
Okay. So like, did you ever install Linux, like Apache Linux?
Yes. So, in that Red Hat server, we have installed that Apache STB server. And we are doing the load balancing as well as so we are deploying earlier initially we were deploying JBoss in the application that where application in the JBoss 3 instances. We are doing that load balancing. So for that one, what we did in 3 instances we have deployed this application in the JBoss. Okay, now and the JBoss each server the JBoss URL will be linked. So those things we are installed in one of the server, a HTTP server. So there we have configured in that this one proxy load that http.config directory. So there you have to enable the reverse proxy, all these things and all. So there we are mentioning this one.
Okay, also. So like example, like one website has been posted on the Apache web server. Okay. How will you what type of security you will provide on the website?
So you can suppose you can create self-signed certificates. So create the self-signed certificates and install that self-signed certificates in that HTTP server. So it will and you can give the certificates path in that HTTP conf and enable that modules by default that SSL modules are not enabled in the HTTP server. So what you will do, enable that HTTP SSL modules in the HTTP server that http.conf file. Then you can give that certification path. So then the URL become instead of HTTP, it will be like HTTPS that website name. So that we can securely access that resources in that particular website.
So like you have a scenario to deploy a var file. Okay. So how will you deploy on Apache?
So Apache in var file will not deploy. See, because that Apache it will be like web server. It will support only the static content. So if you want to deploy var file, you can use a Tomcat or any Wildfly or JBoss. So now we call as Wildfly. Earlier JBoss, now we call as Wildfly. But you are not able to deploy that var file into that Apache STP server.
Okay. So can I deploy Java application in Apache?
No. Only that static content you can, like any website, only the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, image files, you can deploy into that htdocs folder. That is the default file name called as index.html.
Okay, got it. 1 second. Okay. So coming to Docker.
Okay.
So what is container in Docker?
So container, suppose like first if you want to create a container, first the step is like image, Docker image. Without image you are not. So first if you want to create image, Docker file. So Docker, D capital letter, Docker file, D and DOCKR file. So Docker file is in like nothing but it is a source code source file for the Docker image. Without creating Docker file, you are not able to create the Docker image. So in that Docker file, you can mention all the Docker keywords like from, maintainer, run, cmd, workdir, volumes, like different keywords are there. Just create the Docker file. With the Docker file, you can convert the Docker file to the create the Docker file to the Docker image. For that one, we can use Docker build -t that image name and space dot means in current directory Docker file is there. Take the Docker file and you can create the Docker image. So it will create the
whenever you say like whatever you saying comments. So could you please write this in chat window? So that will be helpful for me.
Okay. So you want me to write a Docker file?
Yes.
Okay. So as a Docker file, it will be default like a decapitulated. So Docker file, that is a file name. Okay. So first it will be like from keyword, because from is a one keyword in the Docker. It will be download from the base image. So assume I am using the CentOS :07. So from CentOS. Okay, I am typing 1 second. Then I will use that maintainer, MAIN maintainer. Okay. So then whatever that author name, maintainer is nothing but author name. So then run. Suppose you want to execute some commands, install yum, install Java. Suppose on top of CentOS, I want to install Java. So run space yum install Java. So after that, I want to check the version. Suppose after installing run, so Java version. So like that you can create that one. So volumes, give the volume name /home or whatever that volume. So this is a Docker file. Once you can create the Docker file, so with the help of one command, okay, we can create that Docker image. Docker build -t. Okay, I'm typing. So that image name, whatever the image you are going to create. Okay. So then dot. So what it will do, from current directory, Docker file is there. Okay. Take the Docker file, create the image. So once it is created, okay. So 1 second. So once it is done, it will create the images. That image, whatever the image we have given. If you want to see that images, just type that Docker, okay, image, Docker images.
Okay. You're done?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So what is the difference between Docker and hypervisor?
Docker and hypervisor. Suppose if you use that hypervisor, any virtual box or this one. So if you using virtual box hypervisor, virtual box is nothing but hypervisor. So on top of host operating system, you can install that hypervisor. On top of hypervisor, you can create different virtual box like a CentOS, Red Hat, Windows operating system. So while creating that image itself, that virtual box, we are allocating some memory, suppose 32 GB RAM or to 500 GB hard disk. Okay, like that each server we have. But assume that whatever that virtual box we have created, it is not utilizing that much RAM size and all. But we are not able to reuse that whatever we are allocated to that virtual box. Okay, so and we are not able to allocate to other new instance as well as. But if you use the Docker, so you can create n number of containers. What it will do, dynamically it will take that whatever the resources from your host operating system.
So did you ever write any compose file?
Yeah, I have created that. Suppose.
So what language you used for this one?
YAML I have used.
Okay. So can I use JSON instead of YAML?
You can use, but I didn't try that one. Just I used the YAML.
Okay. So could you please write a command for me to stop the container and reset again?
Stop a container? Container.
Yeah.
So for that one, Just
please write a comment for me.
okay, Docker. First, you have to find that container ID. Okay, for that one, Docker ps-a. So Docker ps-a, if you type, okay, it will choose that all the container IDs, all the names and all. So take that container ID, and if you execute that Docker, okay, stop, okay, and give that container name, container ID or container name. Okay, it will stop that container.
Okay. Could you please restart the Docker again?
Sorry?
Could you please restart the Docker again? You stopped, right?
Docker?
So you have written a command to stop the Docker.
Yes, Docker stop container ID.
Yeah. Could you please restart write the command for restart?
Okay, so Docker restart the container ID. Yeah, see, you can pass it also. Okay?
Okay.
Pass, stop, start. These are the different states are there, container states.
Okay.
So this is
So could you please write some Docker commands which you use regularly?
Okay, so suppose I want to see that all the logs in the Docker container. Just Docker logs that container ID I will give. Okay, so that it will give what are the logs in that one. Suppose assume I want to connect to that container and I want to execute some commands. So Docker attach, okay, and give the container ID. So just I will connect to that container, and you can go and you can see that what are the file system in that one. Okay, so but if you execute this Docker attach command, but before that executing that command, you have to check whether that container is running or not. This Docker attach command will work in only the running containers only, running containers. Okay, so you can see, suppose I don't want to add connecting to that one and I don't want to see that, but without connecting also, I can execute some commands. For that one, so Docker exec execute Docker space exec and give the container ID. Okay, so that and container ID, and you can give the command. What is the command you want to execute in ls-l? Suppose Docker exe container ID ls-l, so that it will display what is the file system in that one, that particular root directory. By default it will display.
Okay, got it. Got it. So, okay. So coming to shell.
Okay.
Okay. So like I have a sample list. Are you able to see this, right?
Sorry, can you type it? Still, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, give me a second.
Okay.
So you able to see now?
Yes, I can see. Okay, so you want to find that average of.
Yes.
Okay, so for that one, just I will take that this one. Okay, but this is array. Correct?
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Right.
Yes.
Right.
So if you want to take that array first value, so sample, okay, underscore
Uh-huh.
list is the array. So what I will do, I will put it into that one for loop. Okay,
Uh-huh.
I will put it into the for loop. Okay, okay, just one second. Okay, for loop array for it is not typing for loop. So int, sorry, I is equal to one second. I is equal to 0, then I less than, okay, that sample, okay, underscore list, okay, that the size, I will use this one. So it will give the size of that one.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And second typing colon. So I plus plus and so now do the for loop start with do. Then here I will write. So you want to take that average, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
first I will add that one. So I will take the size. So how I will add? So first we will use the ex here. So first assume avg average is the one variable is equal to, so dollar symbol each value I will get. Okay,
Uh-huh.
dollar symbol flower bracket, okay, and the sample underscore list, okay, and it will get that first value dollar hyphen of g hyphen of I, index of I, index of, it is not just one second, index of dollar I means it will get the first value of value. So like that it will, so we have to use the ex pair keyword. So average is equal to, first I will put that one, okay, then average, now it will get the first value means it will get the 34, okay, then one second. So in the for loop, I forget I is equal to 0. So I typed mistakenly. So I is equal to that array list first index means it will give the 0, means first index means I of 0 means 34 it will give. Okay. Then okay. So next line, okay, same avg, okay, is equal to, so dollar of abc, okay, and plus expr, okay, dollar of sample underscore list dollar of I. Okay, so it's done. So the for loop it will be done with that means the closing is that done. What it will go? So for I is equal to 0 means we are initializing I less than or equal I less than that array list size that one. So I forgot that hash dollar symbol flower bracket hash If you use hash,
Okay.
that array name, it will give that the size of that array. Okay, and we are checking that one. I plus if it is the condition is satisfied, it will come inside. AVG is a one variable is equal to first we are getting the I value. Then like that we are getting that iterating that each value from the array list, and we are adding into that average variable. Okay, then sorry, I forgot to by divided by whatever that AVG dollars that percentage symbol divided by this array list size. Okay, automatically it will give that size. I forgot another step. I have time.
No issues. No issues. I got it. Okay. Coming to AWS.
Okay.
So could you please explain about EC2?
So EC2 like Elastic Cloud Computing. It's like one any Linux server. Okay. So earlier we were using on-premises servers. Instead of that one, if you use on-premises servers, so for the maintaining is the costly. So like in the AWS, they are providing different virtual machines. Like you can use the Red Hat using that EC2. You can create CentOS, virtual Windows machine, whatever that one. So once we create that one, it will give some PM file. So with help of that one, you can connect to that EC2 instance. You can install any of the softwares, or you can input a number of commands.
What is S3?
So S3 is like a simple storage service. If you want to store any of the images, okay, or if any volumes, big large volumes, we'll use the S3. So it will be like, and it will give one API also. So one of the application in the developer, so they are using that S3 just for uploading the images. So what we are doing, we have created one S3 server bucket. So once you create, it will give the URL. So take that URL and give it to the developer and give the credentials for that particular access that API if you want to. So they are connecting to that one and they are uploading the images into through the Java application.
Looks like you got disconnected from Skype.
Sorry, no, I have not disconnected.
Like I'm not able to see you actually. I'm able to see only two parts.
Broadband, that one. So still I'm in there only. My audio, video also it is there.
So like still it was showing only two participants. That's the reason I'm asking. So one is Mahesh and one is myself.
But I can see Mahesh and Chiranjeev, my photo also.
So could you please, are you able to see message here or that tapping here?
Sorry?
So like I just send the hi message.
Which one?
Hello?
Yes, I can able to hear you.
Hello? So one second, one second. Like you saw me. Okay. You said like
the connections, yeah.
Okay. No issues, Madhusudan. Yeah. Like can I create like S3 in EC2?
S3, no, that is separate service. See, EC2 is different service and another S3 is a different service. How we will connect? You are not able to create that S3.
Not able to create. Okay. So did you ever create any load balancer?
Yes. So Elastic load balancing. So here we use the application load balancing. So different load balancing in that AWS, like application load balancing and network load balancing, these things. But I have used load balancing, application load balancing.
Okay. So did you ever create any IAM profile?
Yeah, IAM profile. So I am the senior.
So while creating the IAM profile, what type of prerequisites you look for?
So first we'll see that what kind of, so we'll get the request from user. So what kind of access he want. So so whether he want a programmatic access or console access. In that programmatic access also, suppose he want to whether only which services he want to give the access, either EC2 or S3 or BBC, whatever that accesses. In that also basic, suppose if you want to basic role you want to. So policies are different and the roles are different. So policies that but set of roles, so predefined already Amazon is providing. So if among that if you want to create, you can create your own profile, that profiles as well as policies,
so like
not profile, policies.
Did you ever apply any auto scaling techniques?
Auto scaling, I didn't get a chance to work on that one, but we have created that. So one of the other DevOps engineer created that CloudWatch, and he is in that CloudWatch. I think he configured that all the configurations. So suppose if that CPU utilization reaches 80%, automatically he's adding that one more CPU to that particular EC2 instance. So I didn't get a chance to that one because other guy took that one. So, but I have the knowledge.